Okay, here we are with another video that reviews anime, and if you didn't see the last one, you should go check it out, and if you want to see the ones that will come after, you should subscribe. Actually, you know how those YouTubers go and like, oh, 1% of my audience is subscribed, yes, 0% of my audience is subscribed, so please subscribe. It would be really cool. Anyways, putting lame introductions aside, I'll be covering both spring and summer anime in this one since I watched like 3 in one season and 3 in the other due to the universe hating humanity. I'll also try to be quick because I've got another video cooking and I don't want this one to take 75 years too. So, you know, let's get going with it. Gleipnir. So the main pull of this series is mainly that the protagonist can turn into a suit and then a girl goes inside that suit, and that is definitely not a metaphor for anything. Despite the relatively interesting cast of characters, I think the best part of the show is probably the protagonist. They introduce him as the random boring protagonist who gets powers, but eventually they explain that there's something more to him, you know, behind the scenes. Also, the protagonist is reluctant to do anything, as most protagonists are, but he's in no way, like, overpowered or anything. It's actually because of the girl that he gets strong and whatnot, so yeah, it's pretty much another one of those weird metaphors like Steven Universe Fusion is, you know? That said, it is very predictable besides those moments created with the idea to have shock value, and some of the characters make dangerous decisions for no absolute reason. But hey, it's anime, what did you expect? 8 out of 10. Shokugeki no Soma, the 5th blade, also known as Shokugeki no PowerPoint. Still going on with being absolutely mediocre. The cooking and everything has been put on the back burner for no absolute reason, and it is true that they removed a lot of realistic aspects to focus on the crazy cooking. I think the problem lies within how unthought everything seems, almost as if everybody involved just stopped giving a shit about the project and decided, hey, let's plug in a purpose and get out of the contract. Which, I mean, I don't know if that's how it works, but if it is how it works, then that's probably a smart move, maybe. I don't know, I did enjoy this season more for its different take on Shokugeki after the train wreck that was season 4, but it still averages balls on every single front, so 5 out of 10. Tatami Galaxy, not even in the season, I just wanted to tell people to go watch it because it's really fucking good. It's one of my few 10 out of 10s, and I have like 3 of those in the entirety of anime history. Appare Ranma, a koi fish, a Japanese cunt, a kid who knows Thanksgiving is bullshit, a generic Chinese flick, a generic American flick, a generic British flick, hip-hop, predictable bad guy, sweetheart, and brother, and the still Rose race, but there is no stance and no Jesus. To be honest, the show has flaws like any other anime, but it does do something amazing with having all of the elements necessary for a good narrative, like character development or solid animation, among other things. Sure, it has some particular flaws involving how some of the characters are too strong or too weak depending on the plot, and it's also very weird that all of the characters are overpowered generally, but it was pretty good. While I was watching the show, I noticed how I didn't do anything amazingly, but it also didn't do anything badly, so it's a shame to think that this anime should be only alright, but in comparison to the other anime we get out there, it's outstanding. So in short, Appare Ranma should be the usual and not the exception. In case you don't understand, this anime is good, and you should watch it by all means. It is at the very least enjoyable and at the most a really solid experience. So regular rating would be a 7 out of 10, but anime rating a 9 out of 10. Oh, kinda forgot to mention, most of that ranking was removed because they never explained how the characters all speak Japanese. It wouldn't have been hard to say, oh, they just learned English and that's it. But, whatever. BNA. It's made by Trigger, so it pretty much means it's gonna be quality, but I don't have any specific compliments to say to this anime. I mean, I guess I could mention that the color palettes and the animation are very characteristic and good, and of course it's easily recognizable, but, you probably like this anime right after you finish it more than you like it a few months later. It doesn't have too much to be, you know, memorable or anything. Besides that, why the fuck did they make the ending song have plot relevance? Why didn't they just use a different song? And why the fuck does this detail bother me so much? Whatever. Jashin-Chan Dropkick with a dash, you know, it's different. After a pretty good first season, they managed to get enough money to make a second season, which certainly delivers. The comedy is golden, and this season relies less on slapstick and more making fun of anime as a whole. I mean, I don't think any other anime has the balls to break the fourth wall as amazingly and intelligently as Jashin-Chan Dropkick does, and it is incredibly funny. Seriously, the comedy is pure gold. There are some problems though, like the cast being way too repetitive. They do introduce new characters, but they're just new angel or new demon, whether the names are different or no. We don't really care because they don't have that much personality or variety. Anyways, if Jashin-Chan can shout out her own YouTube channel, so can I. Now subscribe or I'll dropkick you or something, I don't know. 9 out of 10 and only because of the wall breaks. I also watched the OVAs for Dorohedoro, and I'm not gonna review them, but I just wanted to say the last episode I did say I'll make a longer review on Dorohedoro, but I doubt I still want to take the channel in that direction, so I'll just drop the 9 out of 10 grade on it and the very heavy recommendation. Everybody here should watch it. whether or not you like 2D or not. It's just really good, and the plot twists are really cool. So yeah, that's just a very short review, and I mean, I didn't even get footage for this because I'm lazy. Re:Zero Season 2, it's just more Re:Zero. There are no drops in quality, and the monologues and dialogue are still as good as last time, though they did lean into the horror aspects of the show more heavily. You'd be a fool if you thought Season 1 didn't have any horror elements to it, but they are just most present here. You know, it's still a 9 out of 10, just as the first season was, and still as enjoyable. Oh yeah, and quick shout out to how well adapted the dialogues are. I mean, yeah, they're short, but they're still very similar to what the novel offers, so yeah, go watch it. Aggressive Retsuko Season 3 on Netflix. It's the most heavy season of Aggretsuko, but not losing any of the aspects that made the Aggretsuko really good. Let's say, it is kind of a bother that it's the third time they end a season by returning to the way things were at the start. I get that it's a message and all, but this season just feels fairly unnecessary because of it. It feels like there's no point to anything, and that's kind of a shame. It goes down a bit from the past seasons to 7.5 out of 10. And those are all the reviews I have for these 2 seasons. As you can see, I only am watching 2 anime of this particular season, because another 3 or so of them were delayed from last season until this one, and well, it's whatever, you know? Also, I'm about to mention the anime that I'll watch next season, because it might be fun and you guys might want to watch the same anime I'm watching. Take it as my recommendations for what it looks like, even though I'm not sure any of these will actually be good. Akudama Drive, it's from the Danganronpa guy, and I love Danganronpa and the BBs look dope. Higureshi no Nakokoro ni remake, it looks great and I hear the original is good. Might not watch it, but if the person who has watched the original tells me it's just as good, I will watch it maybe. There's not too many things to watch this season. Yokoku no Moriarty, I'm not sure I pronounced that well, but well, the Great Ace Attorney has given me a liking for Sherlock Holmes, so here I am with this one. And finally, Medusa. I'm not sure, I'm just putting it on screen, okay? It's Chinese, but it looks pretty good compared to the other fantasy successful that we have for this season, so you'll see those reviews on January, I guess, maybe in December, I'm not sure. And yes, that will be all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next video, which should be the big project I'm telling you I'm working on, or at least some shitpost, or maybe Animal Crossing. I'm not even sure anymore. Just subscribe, damn it.